Today I want to talk to you about the special session of the legislature that I have proposed and what I'm trying to accomplish here. As all of you know, the economic conditions have been deteriorating rapidly all around the world, across this country, and also here in California. In the 6 weeks since I've signed the last budget, the mortgage crisis has deepened, unemployment has increased, and the stock market has lost more than 20% of its value. And I know how painful this is to everyone here in California. Many of Californians have lost their homes, they've lost their jobs, retirement funds have disappeared, and everyone is worrying about the future. And all of this negative news, of course, has had a dramatic effect on our revenues of the state government. And also because California is overly dependent on income tax from capital gains. Making matters worse, the state unemployment insurance fund is on the brink of insolvency. So we don't have the luxury of waiting for January when I make my budget proposal or hold my State of the State address where I point out my vision or the goals that I have. We have a dramatic situation here, and it takes dramatic solutions and immediate action. We must stop the bleeding. People expect leadership, and they expect us all to work together. If it is the federal government or the state, if it is Democrats and Republicans, government and stakeholders, everyone here has to work together. I've been meeting regularly, as you know, with the legislative leaders, and we've had Big Five meetings, good constructive Big Five meetings, and everyone agrees that it is necessary to have this special session. Now here are the four problems that we want to tackle here. Number one is closing a projected current year shortfall of $11.2 billion caused by the stock market, by the real estate meltdown, and by higher unemployment. It will be irresponsible to close this, of course, all by just cuts. So therefore I recommend a combination of reductions on programs and also increase in revenues. The reduction in this year will be a total of $4.5 billion across the variety of different programs, from education to prisons, from healthcare to social services, and so on. And when it comes to additional revenues, I propose raising $4.4 billion in the current year through a temporary 1.5% sales tax increase and other revenue generators that Mike Ginest will be talking about later on. With an unprecedented drop in our revenues, we absolutely have no choice. And we cannot delay or push the problem until the next year, because we're going to run out of cash by end of February, and then we will be unable to meet our obligations.
Everybody knows what the differences are in ideology and approach, and my view is always never say die, never give up, keep working.
As far as I'm concerned, there won't be any deal that we agree to that increases taxes on the people of the state this time.
You could see it's like a kindergarten up there where they pointed fingers at each other. I told you this, I told you that, and all those kind of things. And we always told you spent too much money. We always told you we don't have enough money and all those things. They did not live up to the challenge of what they ought to do. So I'm disappointed that they never took it seriously from the beginning. We could see that they never came home from their vacations to really get in there and to study. We heard the legislative leaders over and over talking about the difficulties of talking to them overseas and to explain all the negotiations and to pass on the messages and all of those things. So I think it's disappointing. And so now we have to declare a fiscal emergency and start the session on December 1. And we're going to continue on. I never give up.
25 years.
And there was a reserve account that you could draw down. The reserve account is gone, and we can't borrow anymore. So this is the cliff that we finally driven to the edge of, and they can just drive right over and start shutting the state down, and all of these jobs being lost. Literally tens of thousands of jobs are going to be lost in the construction industries if we can't build the schools, the levees, the highways, and so on.
Kind of get the spigot flowing.
We have to have a balanced budget. Until we have a balanced budget, we can't go out and borrow money. No one wants to invest in California when you have a budget that is the zombie budget, Walking Dead budget that we have right now.
Let's make a movie.
They're not going to buy it. They're not going to pay for the movie we're putting through.